Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here, and welcome to my datapad collectibles guide for Halo Reach. In this video, I'll be showing you all 19 of the datapads, and on the screen you should see all the information you need, including the level, if we require any difficulty or legendary difficulty specifically, as well as what rally point you can start on to make this as easy as possible. We'll start off at the very beginning of Winter Contingency. What we need to do on legendary difficulty is immediately after gaining control, we must kill the invisible elite, which will drop a datapad. This is by far the hardest one in the game and will probably take you several attempts. Additionally, doing these collectibles will unlock you a total of 19 achievements for each individual datapad, as well as one extra achievement at the end for grabbing all of them, and another one for completing the very first one we just did, totaling 21, worth a total of 125 gamer score. Later on Winter Contingency, during Rally Point Bravo, once you grab your little warthog, if you go to the right-hand side path and keep following the right-hand side, you'll eventually end up in this small little town, and in the first building to your right-hand side, find your datapad. Moving on to the next mission, we are at Rally Point Charlie. If you spawn at this rally point, you'll kind of face the opposite direction from where we came from, and this first one is only available on the legendary difficulty. Now outside in this area, there are kind of two bases, and there is a larger base and a smaller base, and we're going to be going towards the smaller base right now. And on top of it, with Sprint, there is a small little gap that you can cross with a well-timed jump that leads to the datapad. So once you get inside here, look for what I believe is probably the biggest building, and you'll just want to head up the stairs. You will need Sprint or Jetpack for this, although I don't think Jetpack is even available until later on in the game. Now make your way to the very top, and once you do, you'll notice that there is a small ledge that protrudes from the cliff, and if you line it up just right, you should be able to make the jump across. Once you make the jump across, just keep continuing forward, and you should be able to spot the datapad sitting on the cliff nearby. You'll then eventually go inside of what looks like the multiplayer map sword base. I've taken care of all of the enemies here, and instead of going to the top floor once you cross the middle bridge here, we want to go across and then go underneath the stairs. This is where the shotgun spawns in the multiplayer default settings, and you should be able to recognize this area if you've played online, but if not, you can just follow the video exactly and find it right here. Instantly, as soon as you start the mission Nightfall on any difficulty, grab control of your character and go to the right-hand side into this small little kind of canyon area, and look to the left-hand side on the ground near some rocks to find the datapad. I then went ahead and started Rally Point Bravo on legendary difficulty, and you'll spawn with these two huge enemies that are going to try to kill you. I just sprinted past them. You'll eventually end up in an area where the Covenant seem to be dropping in. I'm going to skip that objective, which is to save the militia, and instead go to the path and do a couple of rock jumps here on the right hand side to get up on the cliff. Once I'm on the cliff, I'm just going to keep following it along and do a couple of jumps. There is a sprint jump that can be a little bit difficult. Just make sure you're aiming for the shortest possible jump and try crouching at the end in order to catch yourself a little bit more easily. Then what you'll do is you'll turn to the right hand side and spot a rock that connects the two sides of the cliffs, and we'll drop down here, and then another somewhat difficult sprint jump with a crouch at the end to get up on this rock, finding the next datapad. We are now on Tip of the Spear, Rally Point Bravo on any difficulty. Now I'm going to unlock an achievement for killing a zealot here, but eventually during the mission you'll come to this area just after getting off your warthog near the bridge, and you'll come down this hole in the ceiling of a building, drop down and you'll find an ordnance in front of you, which I believe is the plasma cannon. And if you face the opposite direction from that, you should be able to find a data pad before moving on, where you will find a ghost just after. Once you take the ghost and make your way down the path, you'll notice that there is the large anti-air gun. And what you'll want to do is get off of your ghost and do a couple of jumps in order to get on top of this bridge. This one is only available on legendary difficulty. Once you get on top of here, you'll find the data pad though. Next up is the mission Long Night of Solace. I'm going to be doing both of these pretty much in one take as they are very close to each other, so you might as well play on legendary difficulty from the beginning of the mission. After completing the beach section, you'll end up inside. A door will open for you, revealing a table with some blue kind of schematics on it. And if you go up to the small little balcony on the left-hand side, you'll find a data pad sitting on the ground next to a marine. Now just after this, the door will open, revealing the next part of the mission, which allows you to go up into what I believe is a saber. Do not do this, as it will start a cutscene and bring you to the next part of the mission. So instead, you're going to want to go halfway up, and then what you want to do is jump across the gap towards the middle of the area. And then what we want to do is we'll have to do 3 jumps here, which can be a little bit tough, but shouldn't be too hard. You want to jump on the edge of this beam right here, then crouch jump a little bit higher. You have to crouch or else you won't make it. And then what we can do is turn around and jump up on the beam behind us, now climbing up the ramp to get to the top of this and find the legendary only data pad for this mission. We are now on the level Exodus, just after being given the jetpack. I've went ahead and taken care of all of the enemies here, but you'll jetpack across the gap, and there'll be a bunch of chieftains with gravity hammers, as well as a ton of brutes. On legendary difficulty, this section was actually one of the more difficult ones, in my opinion, in the game. But as you make your way close to the exit, you'll notice that there's a catwalk above in the back left corner. What we want to do is jetpack up onto here, and on the left side, find a data pad next to a person, and you'll pick it up, and then we will move on. Now, just a little bit later on in Exodus at Rally Point Bravo on legendary difficulty, you'll come to a section where you can pick up a DMR as well as a rocket launcher, and we'll have to do a couple of complex jumps in order to do this data pad as easily as possible. What we're trying to do first is go for the turrets, as they will shoot us down. So the fastest way to do that is to get up on this balcony, get up on the ledge, and then go up and around. And you'll notice that the turrets are kind of shooting on the right side of the screen right now. So that's what we're going to take out first. And as you land here, if you wait and crouch, you should get a checkpoint, which I would highly recommend triggering. Then take out the 2 turrets, 1 shot each if you are good enough, or 3 shots each if you play like me. And then what we can do is make our way kind of across this gap towards the sign New Alexandria here. So this one's a bit of a big jump. Make sure you use your jetpack lightly just so you can protect your fall here. And as we work our way to the right, you'll notice at the top of this building there are 2 kind of air vents and a couple of connecting beams in this small section of the building. What we want to do is use these beams in order to climb to the air vents at the top, or the I don't know, the outtakes from the air conditioning, I guess. So make your way up here, and then you can make your way up on this ledge. And you can only approach from this side, as from the other side you won't fit. And there are these kind of pipes, but you can glitch on through them and then jump up onto those air conditioning vents. And once you land, you should be able to grab the data pad here. This one's a little bit tricky and can be a little bit difficult on legendary, but with a little bit of practice shouldn't be too bad. New Alexandria, from the very beginning of the mission, get into your Falcon and turn to the southeast. There is a compass at the top of your screen, and next to you, the closest building will have a data pad. Your altitude is shown next to your Falcon. You will want to go to -140. Again, we're facing southeast. And then once you reach that altitude in that direction, just move forward. You'll find a ledge and the data pad should spawn in and you should be able to see it. Then what you want to do is get the nose of your Falcon right up next to the edge here and hop on out. The Falcon will fall, but you'll grab the data pad, and then I would recommend just to restart the mission to get the next one.
The worse our reception is going to get. Cat out.
Next, you'll want to restart the mission, head back into your Falcon from the very beginning of the spawn, and then head in the northwest direction towards Oni Tower, which is the tallest tower in this area. And just behind it, in that same direction, is another building, which composes of two buildings that are kind of connected by all of these different beams. And there's nothing that actually happens during the mission at this building, but there is a data pad if you were to approach the northwest side of it and land on top. There's a couple of little vents and air conditioning units, and nearby there is also the data pad you'll need. The first one was on legendary difficulty, this one is on any difficulty, but you might as well just grab both of these right off the beginning and either complete the mission on whatever difficulty you want, or if you're only going for data pads, just lock and, save and quit, and then start the next level. We're starting to near the end of the game. This is the level, the package, Rally Point Bravo, any difficulty. You'll reach this section that looks similar to Sword Base yet again, and there will be a ton of elites, which I might have missed one right there. But as you make your way through, there will be a button prompt that opens a door for you. Do not press this prompt as it starts the next section. Instead, look in that same area, in that same tiny little room right across from it to find the data pad in the corner. Then we are on Rally Point Charlie, and this is only available on the legendary difficulty during the section where they ask you to defend Halsey's lab. So right at the beginning of Rally Point Charlie, you'll want to go to the top of the hill and grab a jetpack. Then you'll be told to activate all of the automated defense system turrets. And what we'll do is we'll make our way towards this one specifically. We're kind of headed back in the direction we came from. What we want to do is we have to jetpack across a large gap in order to land on top of a bridge. So we're going to go over these rocks and then end up on top of this building. Watch out so you don't get shot. You can get killed, but if you're quick, you should be fine. Then what you want to do is jetpack across this gap. Make sure you get a nice start and a jump, and you should be able to easily land on top of these kind of train tracks, and then just drop down straight underneath you to land on some rocks and pick up your data pad.
I need more time. Whatever you have to do, do it.
Next up, we're on the Pillar of Autumn, Rally Point Bravo on legendary difficulty. You'll enter this area, which might be familiar from a multiplayer invasion map, and you can enter from the bottom or from the top, but going up top does allow you to get a sniper rifle, rockets, and what I believe is a Spartan laser. So you can grab those and take care of all of the enemies before dropping down. After you drop down, what you want to do is head up the stairs that link to the small kind of escalator. It's one of those moving belts for mining, I believe. And what we're going to do is we're going to go across that to get up on top of the roof of the building where our next objective is, turning right at the end, and then just following the roof to the back corner to find a data pad.
Taking enemy fire!
Then just after the previous data pad, you'll end up going inside of the building through the door which closes behind you. You'll enter this hallway where the lot of shaking will happen, and you'll want to shoot your way through the window, the first one you see on the right hand side, and then jump on through, make sure you're crouched so you can fit, and then just follow the back kind of connecting area, and in the back corner you'll find a data pad on the desk. That's 18 of 19, only one more to go. Last but not least, our final data pad is found on the mission Lone Wolf. It is technically Rally Point Omega, but that's the only way you can spawn in on Legendary difficulty. Run forward and jump on top of this hydrogen container, and then do this few series of jumps in order to get into this tube. You will be shot at quite a bit, so it is possible that you die and have to retry the level though. And you should be able to find the last final data pad in order to get your achievement, as well as the satisfaction of knowing that you did it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Drop a like if you found the video helpful. Make sure you share it with your friends if they're also looking to do the data pads, and you'll be getting your achievements. Hopefully they are as rare for you as they were for me, but if I did my job, they shouldn't be. Thanks everyone on Patreon for supporting the show. Shout out to Double O, and hope to see you soon. Peace.